So today I just wanted to take a quick look at Earth Day. This is the 2009, I guess you could say environmentalist slasher film. Um, you definitely do have kind of like a lot of the cliche, overly idealistic morals that I guess tree huggers would have as far as like obviously caring for the earth, recycling. So it's a fairly basic plot. We do open up with a group of people who have planted a memorial tree in a park. They're just kind of sitting around drinking and then they disperse and go about their day. So a lot of what I have a complaint about is we do have the flashbacks. So this person called Pixie, how on earth they wound up with a name like that, I have no earthly idea. I guess it's irrelevant, but we later in the film get a flashback of she was trying to protect some specific tree. Obviously, she was doing kind of like a sit-in or a camp out, and her friends were protesting to prevent the tree from getting cut down. And I guess you could say the attempt was semi-successful, but in an accident in one of the events where she comes down from the tree, it is just super exaggerated. And it is a low budget film, but I love how they did this just because it is so freaking funny. I just burst out laughing. We see the girl obviously trip over nothing, one of those phantom trips that women always seem to have in horror films. And a vehicle quickly goes into reverse and smashes her head. Which, like I said, it's just so exaggeratedly funny. It's just freaking hilarious. But the fact that they're talking about this person so much at the beginning of the film, I feel that the flashback was unnecessary. It's more like the flashback was treated as a ploy to just flesh out or lengthen the film just because it wasn't X amount of minutes long. But yeah, it just feels like it just goes on a bit too long. A second flashback would have to do with a man of Arabic descent, if I remember correctly. And apparently you have like this whole cliche borderline racism thing going on with him. So obviously his family are depicted as being terrorists. He does not want to follow the family business, quote unquote, and he is exiled to America where he follows his dreams of being a hairstylist, which, I mean, like I said, it's borderline racism. It's extremely ridiculous and stupid. But along the way, we have numerous persons who are being murdered and picked off throughout the course of the film. You do have very, once again, exaggerated deaths. One of the first deaths is of a young man in the park. He stops to relieve himself after everyone has left, after the crowd around the tree and the drunken get together and whatnot, and he is literally dismembered. His penis is lopped off, and for some odd reason, as the serial killer's calling card, he has pubes stuffed into his mouth. Why? I don't know, but that's the MO. So we go through numerous deaths like this. It's always the same thing, pubes in the mouth as the calling card. There are a numerous amount of puke jokes going on as well. So you've definitely got a bit of gross out humor, crude humor. The acting is so-so. It's not that great. But if you go into this just with very low expectations, because it is independently produced, it is a low budget film, it very much has the look of being a homemade movie. Basically, there's monotone sound, you have no color correction, the acting is a bit stiff here and there, but for the most part it's one of those movies that it's so bad it manages to be enjoyable, kind of like one of those things that you can just sit and make fun of. The movie really doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not trying to be something that it's not. So I would say, just for the sheer fact that it's so laughably ridiculous, it winds up being an enjoyable watch. Of course, if you check the ratings on this, a lot of people give it 1 star, and you know what? It's not trying to be a blockbuster film. You have to get around that mindset and that mentality in order to enjoy the film for what it is. Don't go in with high expectations. Just just, you know, just take the ride, basically. But yeah, it's definitely a time killer film, but it is loads of fun. So I definitely enjoyed watching this. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.